Okay, so I'm talking about sodomite, the term sodomite, because people, even a lot of people that aren't necessarily religious, or even people that aren't religious at all, like to use the term sodomite. And so it's good to know, like, what are we talking about when we're talking about sodomite? And the proper use of the word. And because people always say, well, a sodomite is somebody who, who's, practices immoral sex acts and stuff. But that's not the proper use of the word sodomite. It's just not, So many words, even the word Jew, is not what people are. So, whatever, man. I mean, what's the point of even using words or talking when people just don't even know what they're fucking saying, But, so I just got done putting up the video on what is a sodomite. But let's look closer at this. So this is where the term sodomite comes from, is Sodom. Well, what is Sodom? Well, Sodom is pretty much a city that is described as told here in the Bible. That's the only that's the origin of the word sodomite, is from the Bible. It comes from the Bible. So if we want to use the word in its proper context, we have to figure out where it comes from, and then, like, what is it? Well, this says what Sodom was. Sodom was a city, and this was the guilt of the city Sodom. She and her daughters had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Well, that's what a sodomite is. A sodomite is a person or people that have arrogance, abundance, food, and careless ease, but does not help the poor and needy. And what happened to these sodomites is, as a result of being arrogant, with abundant food and careless ease, but not helping the poor, as a result, they became haughty and committed all abominations, all this sexual shit that is attached to what a sodomite is. And therefore, God removed them Sodom was removed when it was known. It's like, right. So this is the best definition of a sodomite, is a person who has arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but doesn't help the poor and needy. Thus, as a result, they're haughty and commit abominations. And what happens to sodomites is this: they're removed. So that's what a sodomite is. Now, let's look at this even closer, because it says, she and her daughters had arrogance, abundance of food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Now, what if sodomites had arrogance, abundance of food, and careless ease, but they did help the poor and needy? Would the result be the same? They were haughty and committed abominations before me? Well, that's debatable. I mean, that's why these words, like the word but, carry a lot of weight and meaning. Just like the word thus. Thus means, as a result of all this shit, this is what became of them. And therefore is the final conclusion, is like, therefore means in conclusion. The final conclusion. I mean, the word therefore is used often in debate, in philosophical debate. Therefore is the conclusion to, is deducted. Therefore is a conclusion that is deducted by the evidence presented. Therefore, that's a common word. There's a reason that word is commonly used in philosophy and debate. Therefore, the word but is also very holds a lot of weight in this. And so does the word thus. These little words that we think don't mean anything mean a lot. Because if they had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but they did help the poor and needy instead of not, the outcome would have been different. The outcome and conclusion would have been different. That's why the word "but" is used in there. That's and thus and therefore. If they were haughty and committed, if they were arrogant with abundant food and careless ease, but they did help the poor and needy, they likely would have not become haughty and committed abominations, or they would have been a lot less haughty, and their abominations would have been like few to none. But because their abominations were so gross and stuff, that was why the conclusion, therefore, was that they were removed. Had they helped the poor and needy in this state of arrogance, abundance of food, and careless ease, the outcome and final conclusion would have been vastly different. So that they didn't help the poor and needy was like was basically the cause of everything. Whereas if they had helped the poor and needy, it would have been a lot different. So interesting, just an interesting observation for what it's worth.